Today start chapter 2 NCERT book of 10th class polynomial. Previous class discuss the definition of polynomial, degree of polynomial and classification of polynomial on base degree. Classification of polynomial on base degree. Now discuss next for the previous class discuss polynomial. What is this polynomial? Polynomial, an algebraic expression in which exponent of variables are non-negative integer is called polynomial. General form of polynomial an x की power n. General form of polynomial an x की power n an minus 1 x की power n minus 1 plus dot dot plus a3 x की power 3 plus a2 x square plus a1 x plus a0 where an not equals to 0. General form of this polynomial. In this polynomial, highest power coefficient not equals to 0. Discuss general form, example of polynomial, degree of polynomial. What is the degree of polynomial? In this polynomial, highest power of variable. In this polynomial, highest power of variable is called degree of polynomial. In this polynomial, variable x, in this polynomial, highest power of variable x is n. So then degree of polynomial is n. Then discuss classification of polynomial. Classification of polynomial on based degree. So on based degree, classification of polynomial first, constant polynomial. In this polynomial, a polynomial of degree 0, a polynomial of degree 0 is called constant polynomial. Second, linear polynomial. Degree 0 polynomial called constant polynomial. Degree a polynomial of degree 1 is called linear polynomial. Degree 1 polynomial is called linear polynomial. Classification of polynomial. Previous class discuss constant polynomial, discuss linear polynomial with example. Third, quadratic polynomial. This is very important of your syllabus. Quadratic polynomial. A polynomial of degree 2 is called quadratic polynomial. Discuss cubic polynomial. A polynomial of degree 3 is called cubic polynomial. Fourth, biquadratic polynomial. So now discuss classification of polynomial, quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial, biquadratic polynomial, or then next discuss the zeros of the polynomial by graphical method, by factorized method. Very important for zeros, find out the zeros of the polynomial. So now start. Previous class discuss constant polynomial, linear polynomial. Again now discuss quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial, or biquadratic polynomial. Third, quadratic polynomial. A polynomial of degree 2 is called quadratic polynomial. General form of quadratic polynomial. General form of quadratic polynomial. Px equals to ax square plus bx plus c, where a not equals to 0. For example, Px equals to 3x square plus 2x plus 3. Py equals to 3y square minus 2y plus 1. Pz equals to z square plus 1, etc. Quadratic polynomial. Definition of quadratic polynomial. A polynomial of degree 2 is called quadratic polynomial. General form of quadratic polynomial. Px equals to ax square plus bx plus c, where a not equals to 0. For example, quadratic polynomial Px equals to 3x square plus 2x plus 3. This polynomial of variable x, so denoted by Px. Py equals to 3y square minus 2y plus 1. This polynomial of variable y, so denoted by Py. Z square plus 1. This polynomial variable z, so this implies that Pz. So these are example of quadratic polynomial. In this polynomial, highest power of x is 2, so degree of 2. So this implies that therefore degree 2 polynomial is called quadratic polynomial. Degree 2 polynomial is called quadratic polynomial. Next, fourth, cubic polynomial. A polynomial of degree 3 is called cubic polynomial. General form of cubic polynomial ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a not equals to 0. For example of cubic polynomial px equals to 2x cube minus x square plus x plus 3, py equals to y cube minus y square plus y plus 2, etc. Definition of cubic polynomial. A polynomial of degree 3 is called cubic polynomial. General form of cubic polynomial: ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a not equals to 0. In this quadratic polynomial, general form ax square plus bx plus c. Cubic polynomial है, then degree of 3. तो degree of 3 polynomial ax cube plus bx square plus cx plus d, where a not equals to b. Highest power variable coefficient not equals to 0. For example, variable x polynomial px equals to 2x cube minus x square plus x plus 3. Py y cube minus y square plus y plus 2 etc. Next, biquadratic polynomial. Biquadratic polynomial, a polynomial of degree 4 is called biquadratic. General form of biquadratic polynomial ax4 plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e, where a not equals to 0. For example, x4 x cube 2x square plus x plus 3. Py equals to 2y cube minus y 2y4 minus y cube plus 2y square plus 3y plus 1. Pz equals to z4 minus 3z cube plus z square minus 2z plus 3 etc. Biquadratic polynomial, a polynomial of degree 4 is called biquadratic polynomial. General form ax square plus bx cube plus cx square plus dx plus e, where a not equals to 0. Same, highest power coefficient not equals to 0 in this polynomial. Each polynomial highest power of coefficient not equals to 0. For example, px equals to x4 x cube plus 2x square plus x plus 3. This polynomial variable x then denoted by px. Py 2y4 minus y cube plus 2y square plus 3y plus 1. This polynomial variable y then denoted by py. Pz z4 minus 3z cube plus z square minus 2z plus 3 etc. This polynomial variable for z, so denoted by pz. definition of polynomial, after that degree of polynomial, classification of polynomial on base degree. Discuss, repeat. Previous class discuss only for two: polynomial, constant polynomial and linear polynomial. Now discuss quadratic polynomial, cubic polynomial or biquadratic polynomial. Your syllabus a polynomial degree 0 is called constant polynomial. A polynomial degree 1 is called linear polynomial. A polynomial of degree 2 is called quadratic polynomial. A polynomial of degree 3 is called cubic polynomial. A polynomial of degree 4 is called biquadratic polynomial. On tips learn: 0 degree polynomial, constant polynomial; 1 degree polynomial, linear polynomial; 2 degree polynomial, quadratic polynomial; 3 degree polynomial, cubic polynomial; 4 degree polynomial, biquadratic polynomial. All polynomials general for learn. Right now, then next. Any problem? Discuss me by WhatsApp या call anytime. Next, important topic this chapter, zeros of polynomial. Zeros of polynomial. A real value of a real number, a real number k is set a real number k is said to be zeros of polynomial if of px if pk equals to a real number k is said to be zeros of polynomial of px if pk equals to 0. This equation satisfies the real number, then this real number is called zeros of the polynomial. A real number k is said to be zeros of polynomial. Yeah, k is called zeros of polynomial of px if satisfy the equation pk equals to 0. pk equals to 0. For example, सेकंड डेफिनेशन अगर अपन बात करें इसकी, और zeros of polynomial, zeros of polynomial are x coordinate of point intersect the graph of y equals to px on x-axis. graph of px या x axis, y axis, origin, these graph of polynomial intersect the x axis 2 points. A0 कोऑर्डिनेट B0, तो x coordinate of the graphs zeros of polynomial are x coordinate of points. X coordinate of points intersect the graph of y equals to px on x axis. Graph of polynomial intersect the x axis. This point coordinate of x coordinate intersect point x coordinate is called zeros of polynomial. Graph of polynomial intersect the x axis or intersect point of x axis, or these points x coordinates are called zeros of the polynomial. Find the zeros of polynomial. Two methods use: factor method, graph method. एक्सप्लेन करूंगा दोनों मेथड आपके, लेकिन ध्यान रहे in this graph method find out the intersect point of x axis. Intersect point of x axis or these intersect points, x coordinate of these intersect points is called zeros of the polynomial. These intersect point of x axis, x coordinate called zeros of the polynomial. To definition, a real number is said to be zeros of polynomial of px if pk equals to 0. Satisfy the equation k, satisfy these equation, then k is called zeros of the polynomial. Zeros of polynomial are x coordinate of points intersect the graph of y equals to px. Polynomial px graph on x axis. For example, graph any y equals to px, any polynomial graph represent this. So x coordinate of these points called zeros of polynomial, or these point intersecting the x axis. So x coordinate of intersecting point of x axis is called zeros of the polynomial. X axis intersect point for x axis. Very important. Intersect point of x axis. X coordinate intersect point of x axis is called zeros of the polynomial. Next, right now, zeros of polynomial. Two definitions are, for example, graphical representation. Next topic. Number of zeros of polynomial. Constant polynomial. If px equals to 0, then every real number are zeros of these zeros of the polynomial. If px equals to 0, then every real number are zeros of the polynomial px equals to 0. This polynomial called zero of polynomial. Constant polynomial, also called zeros of polynomial if px equals to 0. If px equals to 3, px equals to k, k is non-zero real number. Then number of zeros is 0. If px equals to k, we have k is non-zero real number, so then number of zeros is 0. This constant polynomial, every real number are zeros of the polynomial. This constant polynomial is called zero of polynomial. If px equals to k, so we have k is non-zero real number, then number of zeros is 0. Very important note. Degree of zero polynomial px equals to 0 is not defined. Degree of 0 polynomial px equals to 0 is not defined. Very important. Degree of 0 polynomial px equals to 0 is not defined. Number of zeros of polynomial. First, constant polynomial. Constant polynomial if px equals to 0. These polynomials is constant polynomial. These polynomial also called zero polynomial. These polynomial also called zero polynomial. This polynomial is constant polynomial. If px equals to 0, then every real number of zeros of the polynomial px equals to 0, this polynomial called 0 of polynomial if px equals to k, where k is non-zero real number, then number of zeros is 0. For example, px equals to 3, px equals to minus 2 upon 3, etc. These polynomial are constant polynomial. Zeros of these polynomial 0. Number of zeros these polynomials is 0. Number of zeros these constant polynomial, every real number are zeros of these polynomial. This polynomial is called zero polynomial. This polynomial constant polynomial and zero polynomial. Very important note. Degree of zero polynomial px equals to 0 is not defined. Zero polynomial degree cannot be defined. Next, number of zeros में Second, linear polynomial. Definition of linear polynomial. What is the definition of the linear polynomial? A polynomial of degree 1. A polynomial of degree 1 is called linear polynomial. Number of zeros, these polynomial. Linear polynomial has one and only one. Linear polynomial has one and only one zeros. Number of zeros in linear polynomial. Linear polynomial has one zeros. only one linear polynomial in this polynomial number of zeros is 1. Second, quadratic polynomial. Quadratic polynomial has at most 2 zeros. Quadratic polynomial. Definition of quadratic polynomial: a polynomial of degree 2 is called quadratic polynomial. In this polynomial, number of zeros 2. In this polynomial, number of zeros 1. Degree of this polynomial 1. Linear polynomial. This polynomial of degree 1 is called linear polynomial. Number of zeros this polynomial is 1. So then after proof, number of zeros of polynomial equal to number of degrees. Number of zero in this polynomial equal to number of degree. Linear polynomial, number of zeros 1. Quadratic polynomial has at most 2 zeros. Third, cubic polynomial. Cubic polynomial definition of cubic polynomial: a polynomial of degree 3 is called cubic polynomial. Degree 3 polynomial is called cubic polynomial. So then cubic polynomial has at most 3 zeros. Third, fourth, biquadratic polynomial. Biquadratic polynomial has at most 4 zeros. Biquadratic polynomial has at most 4 zeros. Degree of biquadratic polynomial is 4. Zeros of this polynomial 4. Number of zeros of polynomial. Discuss the number of zeros of the polynomial. First, constant polynomial. Degree of constant polynomial 0. Then number of zeros is 0. But constant polynomial px equals to 0. This polynomial is constant polynomial and also called zero polynomial. Or this polynomial number of zeros every real number in this polynomial. This polynomial constant polynomial. This polynomial degree not defined. this polynomial degree cannot be defined, then this polynomial number of zeros, all real number zeros of this polynomial is called zero polynomial and constant polynomial. But PS equals to 3, constant polynomial. This polynomial degree 0, then number of zeros 0. Linear polynomial has one and only one zeros. Degree of linear polynomial 1, so number of zeros 1. Quadratic polynomial has at most 2 zeros. This polynomial degree 2, the number of zeros 2. Cubic polynomial degree 3, number of zeros 3. Biquadratic polynomial, this polynomial degree of 4, number of zeros 4. Number of zeros in linear polynomial 1. Number of zeros in quadratic polynomial at most 2. Number of zeros cubic polynomial at most 3. Number of zeros quadratic polynomial at most 4. Definition of polynomial complete. डिग्री ऑफ पॉलिनोमियल डेफिनेशन बिल्कुल लर्न होनी चाहिए आपको. डेफिनेशन ऑफ डिग्री ऑफ पॉलिनोमियल, डेफिनेशन ऑफ पॉलिनोमियल और क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ पॉलिनोमियल ऑन बेस्ड डिग्री ऑफ पॉलिनोमियल. ऑन बेस्ड डिग्री बेस्ड क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ पॉलिनोमियल. फर्स्ट constant polynomial. Degree 0 polynomial called constant polynomial. Degree 1 polynomial called linear polynomial. Degree 2 polynomial called quadratic polynomial. Degree 3 polynomial called cubic polynomial. Degree 4 polynomial called biquadratic polynomial. Then after zeros of the polynomial, so number of zeros in constant polynomial 0, but these constant polynomial number of zeros are every real number. Zero polynomial and constant polynomial, for example, is very important. These polynomial constant polynomial and also called zero polynomial. So number of zeros in linear polynomial 1, number of zeros in quadratic polynomial 2, number of zeros in cubic polynomial 3, number of zeros in biquadratic polynomial 4. Then next, graph of polynomial.